When did something beautiful come from a bad situation? The most beautiful thing that ever happened to me started with the worst phone call of my life. I was 24 when the hospital called at 6:12 in the morning. My grandmother had collapsed while watering her garden. The doctor said she'd had a massive stroke. They weren't sure she'd ever wake up again. My grandma had raised me after my mom passed away. She was my safe place. The person who never missed a birthday, never forgot a school play, never let me leave her house hungry. Walking into that hospital room felt like someone had stolen all the color from the world. She looked so small, so fragile. The machines made more noise than she did. I sat beside her bed holding her hand when my phone buzzed. It was my manager. If you don't cover today's presentation, don't bother coming back tomorrow. I'd spent weeks preparing it. The promotion I'd worked toward for 3 years depended on that meeting. For one horrible minute, I actually considered leaving the hospital. Then I looked at my grandmother, still holding my hand, even though she wasn't awake. I turned my phone off. If I lost my job, so be it. Around noon, I walked to the hospital cafe for coffee. I couldn't stop crying. While I stood in line, an older woman behind me quietly asked, "Is someone you love upstairs?" I nodded. My grandma. She smiled sadly. "My husband's on the 4th floor. We've been married 52 years. Then she bought my coffee before I could stop her. "It's my turn to help someone today," she whispered. I thanked her and went back upstairs. When I reached my grandmother's room, something unexpected happened. The nurse asked, "Are you Emma?" I nodded. She pointed into the hallway. "There are people here asking for you." I stepped outside and froze. Standing there were my neighbors. My old 5th grade teacher, the mail carrier, the cashier from the grocery store, even the crossing guard from my elementary school. Almost 20 people, all holding flowers, cards, homemade cookies. I couldn't understand it. "How do you all know she's here?" Mrs. Dawson, our elderly neighbor, smiled. "Your grandmother never told you?" "Told me what?" "Apparently, for almost 15 years, my grandma secretly delivered meals every Sunday to elderly people who lived alone. She paid electric bills for 2 families after house fires. She bought backpacks every August for kids whose parents couldn't afford school supplies. She knitted baby blankets for the maternity ward, and she made birthday cakes for children in foster care. She never posted about any of it, never asked for recognition. She simply helped people, quietly, one by one. Word had spread that she was dying, and now every person she'd ever helped had come back. By evening, the hallway outside her room looked like a family reunion. People shared stories I'd never heard before. One man admitted she'd paid his rent after he'd lost his job. A young nurse smiled through tears. She brought cookies every Christmas for the night shift. She remembered all our names. Then something incredible happened. The nurse asked if everyone wanted to say goodbye, so they formed a line. For 3 straight hours, each person walked into her room, held her hand, and thanked her, even though she never opened her eyes. Just before midnight, the room became completely quiet. I leaned close and whispered, "Grandma, you don't have to worry anymore. Look how loved you are." At that exact moment, she squeezed my hand, just once, then peacefully slipped away. A week later, I expected the funeral to be small. Instead, more than 400 people came. There weren't enough seats. People stood outside the church listening through open windows. My manager showed up too. I apologized for missing the presentation. He shook his head. "We gave the promotion to someone else." My heart sank. Then he smiled. "But after hearing who your grandmother was, we created a new position, Community Outreach Director. We think she'd be proud if someone kept helping people the way she did." I accepted, not because it paid more, but because it felt like finishing a story she started. Sometimes people ask me how I handled losing the most important person in my life. The truth is, I didn't lose her. I discovered that one quiet woman had spent decades planting kindness in other people's lives. And when the darkest day of mine finally came, every single one of those seeds bloomed all at once.